Wherever you are today, make sure you have some snacks and a drink, and just sit back and enjoy the chill hour. Welcome back to the Chill Hour podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Manhus, and in this episode, we will be diving deep into the subject of childhood video games and how they kind of bookmarked our future, or something like that. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Now, I'm sure everyone can think of a time where, you were really young and you didn't know much better, and you were playing a very simple and easy video game, like Mario, for example, or some of the earlier Lego games. And there was one level you just couldn't get past, or one area, or one fight you couldn't quite finish on your own. And you had to get some help from an older sibling or your dad. Or your mom, depending on who was the video game connoisseur. But definitely out of that, I have one main example of that. In the original, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, everyone knows this. You start on episode 1, and you go fight through the first part with, Liam Neeson's character Qui-Gon Jinn and Ewan McGregor's character Obi-Wan. And you get to the third or fourth level, and you're doing the pod racing. Okay, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this if you've played that game. It was one of the hardest levels in that game, because you would have to beat a certain racer by a certain time, and the controls were not the best for a little 4-year-old's hands. So, of course, my dad, he takes the controller, and he does it first try. And my mind was blown, but I was mostly just happy that I could play the levels after that, because that was when we first got the game, and it was hard, let me tell you. That game is not easy for a 3-year-old, but it's also one of the first games I ever 100% completed, and definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm very excited for the new one coming out, and I just hope it's just as good as that. And another thing going on in that game is I didn't know that the movies existed. I just thought it was a game. So whenever me and my dad were playing episode 6, he would always, he would say what's going to happen, or who we got to go get, and how it's going to happen. And I didn't know. I thought he played it before, but I knew he didn't play it before, because me and my brother, we were the only ones who played it. So I was so confused, but I thought it was awesome. And, let alone it took me a couple months to beat that game. Just beat it, not get every character. And, of course, my brother helped me with that. And, shout out to my dad. Yeah. It just blew my mind as a kid. I just wasn't expecting it, wasn't, ready for that whole experience to take place. But it was a welcome surprise. And, he got us the Lego Indiana Jones game, but by that point, I had already seen all the Star Wars movies and Indiana Jones movies, so I kind of knew what was up and how he knew all the other stuff. So it didn't take me long, but I never actually beat the Lego Indiana Jones game, because I just didn't find it as fun as the original Star Wars, The Complete Saga. Just the humor in the Indiana Jones game wasn't as good. And the next Lego game that I actually loved, was Lego Batman 2. And I thought it was the coolest thing, because it had voice acting and a completely original story like the first Batman. And it was really cool. And me and my brother still to this day haven't 100% it, but we have beat it multiple times. And I just think the way that you go about, collecting characters and stuff, because it's an open world game with a very loosely based story, and I just thought the whole way it was done, it was really cool. And I love the voice acting, of course, and the humor, it was pretty good. It wasn't great, but for Lego game standards, it was probably second best in the thing. And then after that, kind of the Lego games kind of stopped being good for me, and I moved on to Mario, of all things. And sure many people can almost say the same. I don't really know. I'm not really that old. I'm just, 15 in high school talking about video games on a podcast with only a few listeners. But hey, I'm making money, so that's cool. Nintendo. I don't know what you did to have such a big grasp on every child in pretty much every country. You grab them by the neck and force them to play Mario or something. Because I'm pretty sure every child under the age of 11 has played Mario and has enjoyed it and has had some sort of Mario merch. Whether it be a shirt with Mario, a Mario-themed birthday party, or, a Mario blanket set, or, stuff like that. Mario toys, Mario knockoff Legos, because that was a thing. And now there's real Mario Legos, and they look like shit, and they're not very, not very good at all. But, yeah. I don't know what it was about Mario and how it just seemed to always manage to, slither its way into children's minds. I guess their advertising was just that good. Or, by the time I was, around and conscious, I actually knew what was going on. I knew what a video game was, stuff like that. Around that time, all the parents who were having children, they all played the original Mario, so they wanted to get their kids the new Mario so they could also play the new Mario. And, of course, I think this could be me remembering things wrong, but on the Wii, if you bought New Super Mario Bros., you got a copy of the original Super Mario. I could be very wrong with that, but I think that's how it was. All I know is that when as far back as I can remember, on our old Wii, we had a copy of the original Donkey Kong arcade game and the original Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I always grew up playing the original Mario Bros. And thinking, man, this is fun, but it looks terrible. And then I would play the new Mario Bros. I would love it. And then I would play the next one, and they're all the same, and they're all okay. Except for Wii. Wii was the best. That's probably just my nostalgia going off, but it's definitely one of the better entries in the series. But yeah, I didn't really get into the Mario spin-offs, your Mario Golf, Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics, your Mario Tennis, your Mario Party, Mario All-Star, stuff like that. But recently, I have been getting into a little bit of Mario Party, because my brother, he bought a GameCube, and the first night he got it, he also had a copy of Mario Party 4? Mario Party 5? I don't know which one. I don't care enough to go find out. But it was really fun. Me and my dad and him played it, and we got completely fucked over by the computer because we put it on hard or expert or whatever the hardest difficulty was. And I've quickly realized that is one of the most fun games to play with friends that have no fucking clue what's going on. Because you'll have a little edge, but it's still the RNG bullshit of that game will keep you from having a huge skill gap. It doesn't matter if you're good or not at that game. You can have no coins, no stars, no whatever, and still win because of the ranking system at the very end. They're not even ranking. It's like who had the most coins? Who got screwed over and lost the most minigames? Here's a star. Who played the tallest character? Stupid stuff like that. And you never know what it'll be at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, no one could get anything, and it could all go to the computer, or everything could go to you, and you can win even though you had 0 stars and everyone else had 3. It's definitely a fun game, but very frustrating. And I wouldn't go as far as saying it's the most frustrating Mario game. In fact, most frustrating game. That title has to go to Mario Kart. And let me tell you, if you ever want to square up with a legend at Mario Kart, it's definitely not me on the Wii, but I'm pretty damn good. Whenever me and my brother, we got a Switch, so we got the new Mario Kart, which, by the way, so much better than the Wii. I'm pretty sure it was just called Mario Kart Wii. So much better than the Wii version. And it was the Wii U version, so I mean, it's the same thing, but you get everything. Get all the DLC. It was pretty cool. And then our dad also got us plastic steering wheels. I have never touched those. I'm pretty sure they're still in the box. So if you want one, email me or join the Discord and talk to me, and I'll mail it to you. No charge. Yeah. But I've never touched those because it's the less optimal way to play. If you're gonna play the steering wheel, you don't want a little 3-inch in diameter little steering wheel made of plastic for your Joy-Cons. No, you want to use a joystick. But if we're talking the Wii and you have like a 10-inch in diameter plastic steering wheel, then it makes a little more sense to use that instead of something you could palm in your hand. But hey, it's a cash grab, and I'm sure so many people bought it because they thought you had to have it. Which is one thing I never got. I don't get why everyone, like even me being a stupid little kindergartner playing Mario Kart Wii, even I knew you didn't have to have the steering wheel. So whenever I went to some friends' houses and their parents were like, okay, I'll go get the steering wheel so y'all can play Mario Kart, I never understood that. I didn't get why you had to have the steering wheel to play Mario Kart. And my friends, they would always say like, dude, I wish you could play Mario Kart with me, but I only have one steering wheel. And I would always tell them, you don't need the steering wheel to play. But you know kindergartners, first graders, they're all stubborn. They don't care. They're going to be like, yeah, you do. So that was a fun experience. And then I would blow their mind by just holding the controller and moving it back and forth. I would still get my shit fucked up because I was not good at that game. But it was so much fun. So much fun. But I definitely think we can all agree that Mario Kart has definitely the most bullshit gameplay. You could be in first the whole race, and then at the very end of the race, 4 blue shells. All the CPUs start rubber banding. Red shell, banana. 2 guys with a star and a bullet in last place, and you went from first about a couple meters away from the finish line all the way to last. And you have to do that slow, accelerating, like shame drive to the finish line. Even if that doesn't even happen to you, the CPUs will still rubber band. And for those of you who don't know what that means, if you get so far away from the CPU, which is camera for those of you idiots out there. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. You're not an idiot if you didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what it meant until a couple years ago. You're perfectly fine. I love you. Keep watching the podcast. Share it with people. But yeah. They would rubber band, which basically means they would accelerate their speed to something faster than is possible by the player to catch up with them. Then they would go back to regular speed. And the only game I'm pretty sure that's not present is the 3DS game and 8 Deluxe, not 8 Deluxe. The only reason I say that is because I have lapped computers in Mario Kart on the Switch. So, don't mean to flex, but I'm pretty cool. But with the rise and popularity of Mario Kart came all the Mario Kart clones. And the only one I remember, I think, is M&M's Racing. And let me tell you, if you ever wanted to catch me playing a game, that was the one. I loved the little green steering wheel so much. Anytime I played Mario Kart or M&M's Racing, I would always use that green steering wheel because it had the top cut off. I think I remember. I think it had the top cut off. I could be wrong, but oh my gosh, was it just a blast to just rip around as a blue M&M in a really stupidly polygraphically made computer-generated design of a game is the best way I could put that. And like some of those words, I don't even think they're real, but we're going to go with it. But just the fact that I could do that, and it was so much fun for me because I loved M&Ms, and I don't know why, but it was so much fun. And every time I would play Mario Kart, I would always use that steering wheel. Until I broke it. And then I didn't play it anymore. Going with the grasp Nintendo had with the younger audience, the younger consumers, the younger person base. It's the best way I can think to put it. It's safe to say everyone at some point had a DS, and/or 3DS, and/or 2DS, because apparently 3D is just too much for people, and it actually did have some bad things with your eyes, but still, everyone at some point had one of those systems. And if they didn't have that, they had a PlayStation Vita or a PSP, which if you remove the S, it means PP, and that's a hilarious term. And oh my gosh, I'm surprised I never had one of those, because my family's pretty big on Sony stuff, mostly their PlayStation things. But yeah, now I'm PC, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, everyone had not a PlayStation. Everyone had a DS. I still, to this day, don't know if that stands for anything, and I don't care to look it up, so I'm not gonna. But definitely one of my most easily remembered first experience with the DS, is my sister had a pink DS, not DSi, just a regular old pink DS. That was right after they had the bulky first DS, and they had the DS Slim or whatever it was called, and then they had the DSi, which was so much better than everything else. But that little pink DS, you could swap it. You could put in Game Boy Advanced games. I think Game Boy games. I could be wrong. I don't really know. But you could put in Game Boy Advance games, and I would always play Pac-Man 1, The Adventures of Pac-Man. It's like a 3D platformer, but with Pac-Man, which is surprisingly a good game, and I really did enjoy it. And yeah, that was my first experience I could think of. I would play it, and I didn't really know what was going on, but I liked walking around as Pac-Man. And also, I went to my dentist office. Represent, if you know, you know. The dentist office with the, game systems and stuff. Those are always the best, and I still go to that place. But definitely weird walking into the dentist room, like the little work room with the the chair. I guess the dentist workstation, work office is the best way to put it. And seeing on that little couch charging on a little dock was a beautifully ruined DS with a huge sticker that was peeling off, leaving paper residue and glue on the front cover. I don't even remember what color it was, but it was so much fun to play. I think it was Scooby-Doo DS, and I didn't know what was going on. I would always play that one level where you're in like a mansion, and oh baby, that was some good times. It only lasted a couple minutes because my brother would be on the chair, or he would be in a completely different office and I would be in there. But I played that DS very few times, but it was always fun when I did. And also that DS, I don't think it was ever cleaned, and it was very nasty, and I'm glad I didn't play it more than only 3 times. If COVID was around back then, yeah, I definitely would have had it. I don't really know, because kids don't really get COVID. Their immune systems are too good for the spread of germs and how many germs are everywhere. Because yeah, it's nasty when you're a kid. Things are nasty. Things are going in and out of your mouth. It's a whole lovely amalgamation of everything. But yeah, despite my love of Mario Kart, all the Mario Karts I talked about, my sister did have a copy of Mario Kart DS. I played it once, and I loved it, and I never got to play it again because she lost the copy, or she sold the DS. I don't really remember quite well. No, she didn't sell the DS. Pretty sure we just lost the copy, or my brother took it, and he used it for his DSi. Then later that year, or the next year, I got a DSi with a blue back for my birthday. And yeah, I got a copy of Super Monkey Ball, and I don't think I've ever played a game more than that copy of Super Monkey Ball, because I played that a lot. And my brother also had a copy of it. And the DS Remote Play, where you didn't have to have a copy of the game, and someone with a DS could download play, or it might have been download play. I think that's what it was called, download play. Me and my brother, we would do download play, and we would play the like air hockey game mode in that game, and it was so much fun, and I loved it to death. But death, till death do we part, or whatever they say at weddings. We ended up selling our DSs, and then the very next year we got 3 DSs. Awesome. I love you, Grandma, so much. So that was pretty cool. But I don't really remember very fondly of the games I played on my 3DS. I mostly just used it as a Pokemon machine. I put about 500 hours into Alpha Sapphire, and then I got a copy of Omega Ruby and traded myself Kyogre. No, that one's the water one. Groudon. Yeah, that one. Traded myself that guy. So I'd have both. And I thought I was the coolest fucking kid on the playground. And to this day, I still don't have all of the dogs, the legendary dogs. I got 2 of them. I got the electric one, I think, and the water one. I needed the fire one, and that was the one I couldn't get. But I got every other legendary, and those were some good times. And that's pretty much it for my 3DS and DS kind of memories. I don't really remember much about them, but I say overall that was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had playing video games on that console. That will definitely be a console I will never forget. And I'm wanting, I sold it 3 years ago, and I'm already wanting a DS back, or 3DS back. We already have a DS, but that's beside the point. I already want a 3DS back, but I'm going to wait on that and let the nostalgia battery kind of charge. Be on the lookout next podcast when you figure out what I mean by nostalgia battery, because I interview a great guest, Ray Mundo, on YouTube. Great guy. Yeah, look next week, Sunday. That's when that comes out, and be very excited for that, because that is an amazing interview. Church. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. At least they've had some experience talking to people from there. They've been in it, or they, through the bottom of their hearts, despise it. But me, nuh-uh. I went there every Sunday. Every single Sunday. And I would always play on my mom's phone. And there was one thing I remember most about my mom and her phone. My mom's not dead. I'm just phrasing it this way because, there's one thing I remember about her phone. She was so good at Candy Crush. And I don't know what it is about middle-aged women and matching 3 candies in a row, but that is something I think every woman over the age of, let's see here, how old's my sister? 22 has played to level 1,000. I don't get it. I don't get it. My sister, she's 22. She's just recently gotten to level 1,500. Do you know when she downloaded the game? Maybe a week or 2 ago. How do you get to level 1,500, 1,500 levels in a week? How? I can't even get through 5 levels in a month on Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga when I was 8. And you expect me to get to level 2,589 million trillion in a week? I play that game. I get confused because I'm trying to look at it okay, if I move this here, then that'll bring in some more, and then I'll move that there. Do you know what they do? They just mindlessly swipe fruit and I guess it'd be more candy. They mindlessly swipe candy to pass the time, and they always end up passing the levels. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I guess I'm just not too casual with my gaming to understand. But I'm sure. Okay, here's the thing. Go to your mom right now, or your grandma, or your aunt, or any woman over the age of not you right now, and ask them, have you played Candy Crush before? And I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 they'll say, yes, do you want to play it? Take their phone and go look at what level they're on, and then call them a psychopath if they're past anything on 200. I thought it was crazy when my dad got to 50 in a week. My mom, oh my gosh, I looked at that, and my mom, she was at 500 when I looked. My mom recently restarted on her iPad because she got a iPad because she has to use it for work. So whenever she's, not working, she uses her work iPad to play Candy Crush at work. So she recently downloaded it because she's like, I don't really want to play Candy Crush on my phone. I might as well play it on a bigger screen. She's already to level like 700, I want to say 800. It's impressive how fast women can just push through that. It definitely surprises me. But Candy Crush is definitely not a fond phone game, I guess you say, mobile app. My heart belongs to Dino Dash or Dino Run. If you know, you know. Whew. That's it's the endless runner, but good. You were a dinosaur, and you were running through the different stages of being a dinosaur. You had the primordial area. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention in science. But you have the beginning area, then you have the Ice Age, then you have Hell. Well, I guess it would be more the meteor, and then it just kind of loops after that. And it's really awesome because you can unlock different characters. You're trying to grab fruit because the whole thing about this endless runner is the more fruit you grab, the longer you can go. And if you run out of fruit because you have a fruit meter, then you'll die and you'll have to restart the level. Or there's not really levels. You just have to go again. It's like your usual endless runner. It's like a 2D temple run. But speaking of temple run, let's talk about that. I think it's crazy that a game so badly made as Temple Run when it first came out, so many bugs, errors, doesn't even look that good, got so popular. But I'm also not surprised because Endless Runners is like the biggest thing on mobile phones. I have an iPhone. Okay, I've grown up with Apple because my dad and my mom has grown up with Apple. Every time they get a new phone, they give it to my sister. They give their old phone to my sister. Then that goes to my brother. And then eventually, just a few years ago, I had an iPod Touch. And that was loaded with games from my brother and sister. So, oh baby, I played so many, including YouTube. That's where I found YouTube and wanted to, of course, be a YouTuber. But that doesn't work out for anybody. So I just kind of gave up, and now I'm doing a podcast because podcasts are good. I would always play, of course I said Dino Run, and then you'd have all the demos of games. And then we had Call of Duty, Black Ops Zombies, which I actually have on my phone right now. Great game. I love it. It sucks so bad because it's very slow. You're very slow. That's the best way to describe the game. It's just slow. I always loved playing a certain 3 games. Dino Run, Pocket Planes, and Temple Run. Sorry, completely forgot what we were talking about. And then when Temple Run 2 came out, I wanted to play it, but I couldn't on my phone, so I got really sad. But I kind of just said, you know what, whatever. I'll just wait till I have a phone, and I get rid of this stupid iPod. And so, lo and behold, when I turned 13, I get a phone with a phone number, and I start texting people. That was pretty sick. Then I finally downloaded Temple Run 2, and I think that Minecraft, and nope, that's about it. Those are the only games I've played consistently every year of my life since I downloaded them. Minecraft I pop on once a month. Temple Run I pop on once a month. I'm good with my fix-up of those games. And that brings me to another thing, my old iPad mini. So, not too long after I got a phone, at your birthday parties and Christmas, whenever your grandparent or something gives you some money, and your mom's like, let me take care of that for you. I'll hold on to it for you, so anytime you need it, you'll use it. So, my mom did that, but unlike most of the time, she actually, she took a large percentage of it, put it in her wallet, took another large percentage of it, put it in my college fund, and then a little bit left. And so that little bit over, 13 years, built up pretty, not fast because it was 13 years, but built up to enough to where I could buy half of an iPad mini. And I said, Mom, I want an iPad mini. Do I have money for it? And my mom said, no, but we can help out with that if you want it to be part of your birthday. So I paid half of it, and the other half was covered for my birthday and a little bit of my Christmas. And I was the happiest kid in the world when I opened up my iPad mini, and I don't have that anymore, and I'm really sad, and I do miss it, because that was the iPad I beat Angry Birds 1, I beat Angry Birds Transform, I beat all the Angry Birds on that, is basically what I'm saying. Star Wars Angry Birds, beat it. Regular Angry Birds, beat it. Angry Birds Demo, beat it. Of course, the usual. But yeah, I definitely do miss that iPad, and that was also where I started my infinite love for Minecraft. And yeah, that's a love that still goes on to this day. I definitely do miss the sweet innocence of, waking up every day, going to school, coming back home, grabbing your phone or iPad off the charger, and going to play games. Not even worrying about homework, because you don't have any homework, because high school fucking sucks. But we learned that in the last episode of the podcast. If you haven't listened to it, don't. It's not great. But if you would like to, go. It helps me out, supports me, makes me, want to make more of these episodes. And yeah, give me some feedback. It is time for the viewer-submitted question of the week. This week's question, I thought it was very fitting. I saved it for this week, is... what is your favorite video game? And that is a wonderful question, my friend. I gotta think about this for a second. Definitely throughout history, Minecraft. That's the game I've played the most. That's the game I've watched the most on YouTube. But right now, I would honestly have to say it's definitely Clone Hero and Guitar Hero 3 for the Wii. I never grew up playing Guitar Hero. My sister had all of the Rock Bands, all of the Guitar Heroes. We put them on our Wii, we'd play it, and it was sick. And actually, I'm looking down at my feet right now, and there's a Gibson Guitar Hero controller with a Wii remote in it, and I have a 8-bit DO connector into my computer, which I just unplugged. It helps me use that controller for, Guitar Hero. But definitely, over time, Minecraft. I watch so many Minecraft YouTubers. It's very nostalgic for me to go back and watch, like most kids. And I always dreamed of going to Minecon, and I'm glad I never did when it came to the States. Because if I did, I was definitely going to grow up. Or not grow up. I was definitely going to... well, I mean, I am going to grow up. I've already grown up. But I was going to make a costume. I think I was going to make a costume of Steve or something. And it was going to be a complete shit fest with me. I would probably be on one of those Minecon cringe compilations, so I saved myself the embarrassment of that. But I definitely think now it's Guitar Hero. It's just my most favorite thing to do sometimes on my free time is to watch YouTube and listen to music. And so when there's a game that I could play to music, especially rock music from the 80s, because that's my favorite genre of music, glam metal, heavy metal, any rock from the 80s. Specifically Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, all the basic stuff. Whenever I could do that, and I could feel like I'm playing the music without actually having to go grab my dad's guitar or hop on my drum set, it just makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel awesome and like a badass. And it also comes without all the drugs, alcohol, and bad stuff from being in a band like that and playing the music that you do when you're in that. So yeah, I definitely think Guitar Hero and Clone Hero and stuff like that, that's definitely my favorite game as of right now. So yeah, that was question of the week. And if you have a question you would like me to answer, or me and my co-host and or guests I have, comment on the podcast or go to the YouTube channel, the Chillhour Podcast. You'll see it has the same icon as the the episodes. Go there, comment on that, or go to the description of this podcast or the episode on YouTube, and go to the Discord, and you can submit them there. And of course, anytime you want to talk to me about anything, you want to guest on the podcast, you want to shout out on the podcast or stuff, just go to my Discord and we can have a chat. If you just want to talk, let's go talk. But yeah, that ends our weekly segment of Question of the Week. with me coming from a background of sports loving people and amazing people at that. Talked about my family, by the way. And that, made me want to play sports. My favorite sport is football. My favorite sport to play is football. My favorite sport to play is baseball, and I like managing basketball. It's also why I want to become a coach when I graduate high school and college. So I've already started planning my career about that. But that leaves a lot to want, because I can always play high school sports on, the field, on the school grounds. I can't just go out and decide to play collegiate sports or professional sports, or can I? Because I'm pretty sure, ring-a-ling, hello, yes, this is EA, and I will fuck over your life by making you spend millions of dollars on a stupid game that you think is okay and mediocre. Yeah, I bought a lot of Maddens, if you couldn't tell, and I'm very frustrated about it. Madden is one of the greatest series to ever take a shit on their consumers and their customers, and then rub it in their face, serve it on a silver platter every year, the same piece of steaming poo, and just say, here, eat it. And if you don't, they will open your mouth and jam it in there and make you chew and swallow and watch you do it while they're laughing with racks and racks and racks. I'm like 98% sure what they're doing is illegal, because you can't enforce gambling to children. It's illegal. So whenever you have a teen-rated game with gambling in it, you have to gamble on packs, whether they're going to be good or not. Is that not gambling? Is that not illegal? It should be illegal by the quality of standards of their games. Instead of fixing buggy, glitchy messes, they decide to add, oh, look at this cool new mode, the yard. Look at how amazing it is. And then you realize, but that's the same. Just 3 people, actually 4, or I don't know. I haven't played it because it's shitty. I have actually played it. It was fun until you realize how buggy it is. Like the animations. That's the biggest problem I have with it. If you play the game for longer than a week, everything looks the exact same. Everything plays out the exact same, because it's not a physics-based game. It's an animation-based game. The game engine it's made of is for first-person shooters, not a fucking game where you throw around the pigskin. So, yeah, it gets a little frustrating when you spend $60 a year, and in order to actually play the main feature of the game, and to play it good, and to have an enjoyable time, you have to spend another $1,000 gambling in these packs to get just a slightest little bit of an upgrade. But if you don't, you're going to be completely fucked when you go to play other teams, and then you sell those items on the auction house, and then you buy more products, and then you're like, oh, this game's fun, I'm going to buy the next one because it'll have better graphics, and you're essentially paying $60 every year for a roster update when they could just have, oh, here's Madden PS5 and Xbox Series X. We're going to continuously upgrade it and add new content every year. And then in a few years, we're going to make another Madden for that console, 3 years down the road. Even better graphics, even better modes, even better stories, and it'll be fully fleshed out. There will be no glitches, and it won't be made on a engine for first-person shooters. Or that's what you would expect them to say if they were not going to completely cuck you over and make you spend money every year on the same damn game. The funniest part is they've denied that they just copy and paste the code for so long until they had a little bit of a slip up. In Madden 20 or 21. Madden 21. There was an error message that people were getting, the first week it came out, where it would say, sorry, please update your game. Madden 20 requires you to upgrade to play online settings, online modes. Whenever you're playing Madden 21, and you have to update it to Madden 21 version 1.0, and you get a message saying that you need to upgrade Madden 20, yeah, I'm pretty sure you did just copy and paste. Same wording, same screen, same everything, because they just copy and paste the code from the Madden before and they paste it onto the Madden after, and all that time they spend that whole year working on new and possibly worse modes or game modes, because we had Superstar KO in 20, which, by the way, on some of the players' jerseys and on the fans, it said Madden 19, and in the stands, the dudes that are, like, handing out food and stuff, the dudes in purple or pink. Can I talk? I don't think I can. They were wearing Madden 18 shirts. And can we just say, NFL 2K5, a game that came out in 2005, looks better and plays better than a game that came out in 2020. And, yeah, they have referees on the field. In Madden 21, literally something that would take maybe 20 lines of code to add referees to a sports game, something where, in modern days, the game is heavily decided on calls by the referees. You'd think they would add it to the game, but they just decide not to. And I don't get it. I don't like it. You're paying $60 a year for a roster update and worse graphics, actually. Madden 18 had better graphics than Madden 20 because when they made Madden 21, they would like to not, go crazy on the graphics, but still make them look better than Madden 20s. So you would have a reason to buy the new Madden 21 on the new consoles. I don't like it, but one good thing EA has done is, nothing, actually. None of their games are good. FIFA fucking sucks. NHL, I don't really know anything about it. It could be like a really good game. I don't really know. Madden sucks. They ruined Star Wars. And let's think about it. They're a corporate company, so they're not going to change their minds about it. And in 6 years, when that license where they're the only exclusive people that can make a simulation football game expires with the NFL, I pray they don't extend it. Because that would suck for everyone involved, every party, everything you can imagine. I just don't see it being good. One last thing before we end off this podcast. It's going to be not necessarily related to the topic, but yesterday, because this episode's going up on a Sunday the 25th. Yesterday, as of this podcast being uploaded, it's a week from today as of being recorded, there's going to be a fight between the Joshes. I have no clue which one's going to win. In fact, I don't think anyone's going to show up. But I just think it's so funny that someone got a bunch of Josh's phone numbers and then put them on and just decided to, say, hey, y'all are going to go to these coordinates and y'all are going to fight. Winner keeps the name, losers have to change their name. And I don't know. I just hope the winner is like some kid or some old ass man. That's just what I'm hoping. I'm gonna stop talking for now, and I'll cut back a week later whenever the fight actually ends. Hey, this is one day old or kind of present, Jackson. Yeah, it was a kid that won. A fucking kid won the fight. I don't blame them, but I thought some fucking jacked guy is gonna come and beat the shit out of a bunch of puny little fat asses. But I can see why the kid got it. I mean, I just think it's funny that the whole ordeal happened. I really want to know how they got the phone numbers of a bunch of different Joshes, because I would definitely like to, do something for Jackson's. And also, I just love the dude that showed up in the Star Wars costume, the Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then they just had a bunch of pool noodles and they were It was really funny, and I don't know if anyone streamed it, but I know a lot of people were taking videos, and it was a pretty big event. Best thing to happen in 2021 so far, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to reach out and talk to me in any way, sponsors, whatever, go to the link in the description of this podcast, and if you are on a podcast website or app where you can't click on the links or copy and paste them, go to the YouTube channel, the Chillhour Podcast. That is the Chillhour Podcast. Go to the description of this episode or the About page and just click the links there. You can see my You can see my Anchor. You can see all my different things. You can see Discord and, of course, the YouTube that's there. That's pretty much going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this episode, share it. Next week's episode will be an interview with Ray Mundo, a pretty decently popular YouTuber that's just now going viral. At the time of recording this episode of the podcast, he is at 4,000 subs. Yeah, 4,000 subs. And his most recent part of the Gen Z Iceberg has gone up. It is part 3, and it is amazing. And so go check that out, because he's a pretty cool guy. And I will be interviewing him soon. And then it'll be uploaded next Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. And see you next Sunday.